The Shark Deck.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. The Sun reports bosses at Netflix feel Meghan Markle lives in her own bubble and does not seem to have grasped the economic reality. A source told the paper there is a less friendly attitude from some at the top. The feeling is that the lemon has been fully squeezed. The big bucks Harry and Meghan signed on for do not exist today. Royal expert Angela Levin doesn't think the Sussexes' plan for non-gossipy content will fly. There was a statement from them that they were no longer going to talk about the royal family and now want to stay behind the camera, but that's a disaster. No one's interested in the producer or editor, they want the star. If they put themselves behind the camera, there'll be less interest. I also don't think Meghan knows how to do that, so she'll need help, and people find her difficult to work for. Royal expert Richard Fitzwilliam suggests that Spotify may give Netflix cover to get out. Losing Spotify is a huge blow. How hard, we'll have to wait and see. The collapse of the Spotify deal puts under the microscope the three deals they've got, Netflix and Random House. They've done remarkably little for Netflix. If they don't placate a Random House by giving them something, they might lose that too. What exactly are they going to do when it comes to more books? Harry said he could write another book with the 400 pages removed from the first draft of Spare. The royals wouldn't like it. They are at best unpredictable. It's why they're very difficult for the royal family to deal with. It's the beginning of the crumbling of what they've built up. There have been quite a few articles about how Harry and Meghan might make money. One suggested Meghan could take over for Pat Sajak on Wheel of Fortune. But author Nigel Cawthorne is looking to the White House. According to Cawthorne, Meghan is said by some to be lining herself up to be the first woman president. In the US, Harry could at least be first gentleman. Hollywood actor Ronald Reagan had made it to the White House. There is no reason that the Suits star of the Netflix generation could not follow in his footsteps, help with a little Windsor fairy dust. That scenario might please Angela Levin, who told GB News, "You can't be part of the royal family and hate the country. You just can't. I think that's enough to remove him on the line of succession. Just out. We can't have that. We have to get him off. He can't be in line. He just can't be. I think even before it makes an effect on the king that he has a son who has no manners whatsoever, who hates the country he's in and doesn't care a hoot about his father. No respect whatsoever." Palace Intrigue will be right back.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Corinne.
We host the podcast Pop Fiction Women,
where we deep dive into the best books, TV, and movies,
as well as the women creating them.
So who are we?
Corinne is a lawyer who worked on Wall Street. She loves psychological thrillers that keep her guessing and has a soft spot for messy women trying to break cycles of addiction and self-sabotage.
And Kate is a litigator who worked at some of the top international law firms. She loves romantic comedies that keep her swooning and has a soft spot for the ice queens who learn to let their heart lead over their heads.
We cover a range of content like When Harry Met Sally, Fleabag, Yellow Jackets, Normal People, and Tell Me Lies.
And we also interview your favorite authors like Emily Giffin, Tia Williams, and Rebecca Searle.
Where we always ask the most important question of all, what's your sign?
Subscribe or follow Pop Fiction Women wherever you get podcasts.
Maybe we're imagining things, but we feel like we had previously reported on the recent story that Prince William reportedly delivered food to homeless people during COVID and managed to avoid detection by wearing a face mask. That story showed up this week after William did an interview on the subject of homelessness. William granted an interview to the Sunday Times where he discussed how he sees the role of the monarchy. We're all very busy, and I think it's hard sometimes to see what the family brings and what we do. But the amount of causes, the interests, the dinners, the meetings, the visits, whatever it is that we do day in, day out throughout the year, we've always been involved in that. It's part of what we do. William was asked why he doesn't give over some of his spare rooms to help house the homeless. At first he non-answered, but then said, there is a touchy plan for social housing, adding he will start small with such accommodation on his land, and that if he can demonstrate it is viable, he will scale it up. When asked if he was totally ever able to walk the streets incognito and encounter the homeless there, he answered, totally. I don't tend to give money. I tend to buy them a drink, food, something like that. I find that when I'm walking around or driving past and see other people do it, people don't even look at them. How many people stop and talk to somebody who is homeless? Very few of us. William also speaks about the homeless with his children. On the school run, we talk about what we see. When we were in London driving backwards and forwards, we regularly used to see people sitting outside supermarkets, and we'd talk about it. He said he would ask the children why are they there and what's going on. His goal is to teach the children that some people are very fortunate while others need a helping hand. William said he's preparing to launch a really big project to tackle the issue. It's nerve-wracking, but I'm really excited. I've been waiting for the right time to do this. Mick Clark, chief executive of the charity Passage, told the Times that William does an awful lot when there aren't cameras. That's what he enjoys the most because he's meeting real people, hearing real stories. It's what has formulated his plans. When he comes here, nothing's sugar-coated, nothing is sanitized. People on the streets are very good about knowing whether someone is authentic or not within a second. He is very authentic. Apparently, in November 2020, a masked-up, socially distanced William made 3 visits to the Passage, meeting residents and helping prepare meals for their emergency food hub that delivered meals to homeless people. Clark recalled he'd be making the food with the volunteers, chopping the carrots, boxing the food up into containers, washing up, and in one case he actually delivered the food to one of the hotels in Westminster. They got a surprise when they saw their delivery man. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, or your favorite app of choice. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.